How's it going, guys? We have some pipes to test out today. We're going to be trying out the Pro Circuit pipe on two different bikes, by the way. On the YZ250, both YZ250 two-strokes. A Scalvini pipe, or however you pronounce that, against the stock pipe. So we'll be trying them out on this YZ250 2018 and on the 2023 YZ250 over there. And we're at Lazy Spring in Southwest Florida. The 23 here has the Apex head on it with the MX dome. He has some V-Force 3 reeds, and I believe that's the extent of the motor modifications. He's running a Pro Circuit Shorty silencer. And my bike, the 18, it has the V-Force 3 reeds as well, and a custom head. I put the head together myself. The squish band clearance is at 40 thousandths with the compression about the same as the 2003 to 2010 American model head, which is a higher compression than the modern day YZ250 heads, but that's where I have that one set up. Also, the cylinders is stock for the most part, except the exhaust port has been polished. And a Shorty silencer on this one as well, Pro Circuit. We'll be trying all three of these pipes out on both these bikes. Also, make sure you stick around towards the end of the video because there's going to be a little bonus. There's going to be a fourth pipe in this test, but I'm not going to tell you what it is till we get there. And later in the video, I'll discuss a little bit why we run the Shorty silencers on these bikes. It's pretty much all I run on my two-strokes, but I'll discuss that a little bit later, and that's why we're not trying out different silencers. We're just both going to run the Shorty silencer on all these pipes and just compare the pipes. Okay, my preliminary ride with the Pro Circuit pipe is done. That's my pipe I use every week, so I'm very familiar with it. I'm going to go ahead and bolt on another pipe now, and Dustin over there is going to do a preliminary ride on his Pro Circuit pipe with the GoPro and get warmed up, and then he'll pop another pipe on. I will say, I busted up my hand this week working in the shop. You can see it's all swollen right here. I'm not riding my best today. It's a good thing we got Dustin out here to test these things out because I can hardly pull on my clutch lever, but I'm still doing it. The Scalvini pipe, however you pronounce that, is on the 18. First observations, I haven't ridden her yet with this pipe, but first observations is it doesn't fit that good. I read that online too, that these are known not to fit that good, and well, yeah. The flange, it's tight right here on this side, but it's lipped up a little bit over here, meaning they don't have the flange quite square. It's a little twisted that way. And this pipe doesn't have any real damage. It only had a mild little dent right here, and that was it. So it's not like the pipe's twisted or anything like that. And look how close it is to the radiator right there. And listen to this. Hits the radiator. Also, you have to really twist your mounts and really work them to get the pipe on. But it's on. Maybe I'll just give them a little bit of credit, or a little bit of benefit of a doubt. Maybe with their silencer, it might have shifted things a little bit differently and might have fit better. Maybe. I don't know. But let's go test it out. And then Dustin's going to take his out with the Pro Circuit pipe and see how that does. Oh, also, another observation is when you walk up to the bike, it's kind of a fat pipe up in this section right here. You can see it sticks out pretty far. You see that? Where the Pro Circuit is definitely a lot more tucked in right there. But let's go see how she does. Okay, the Scalvini pipe test for on my bike's done. We're gonna go ahead and bolt it on Dustin's bike. I'll tell you what I think about it in a minute. I don't want to say yet because I don't want to put anything in his head. I want to hear what he has to say without first hearing what I have to say. So let's go ahead and unbolt this and get it on his bike. Interesting enough, it's the first time the pipe's been blued. I definitely gave it the beans out there. Look, it blew right there too. So I definitely gave it some heat. Scalvini pipe on the 2023. Same thing. It's actually touching his aftermarket radiators, and the same thing over here where the flange is. Yeah, you can see it's butted up right there, but on the other side it's sitting off a little bit. But let's see what he thinks about it. What do you think about that?
That one's better.
You like that?
Yeah.
You really do?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It feels like it's got more top.
More top end,
Yeah.
okay. How about the bottom end?
A little sluggish maybe.
A little sluggish?
You didn't hear me bogging out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Wow.
used to being able to clutch out of that.
Okay, that's cool. All right, well, I'll let you gear down and we'll talk about it a little more.
On this track.
Okay, so you think it's better on this track?
Yeah, in the sandy conditions.
And you thought it had more top end?
For sure.
See, for me, it felt like it had more bottom, like right away. It felt like it revved good, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
But I thought it felt a little soft in the mid. Like if you got off them revs, it could kind of like hang in the mid a little bit.
Yeah, man, my pipe feels real flat at the top to me.
Does it?
I'm always, especially this track, on the very, very top end of the gear.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just a little flat on the other pipe,
the
but
Pro
this one's
Circuit,
got
right.
a little extra on there.
Okay, so this feels like it has a little more top end than the Pro Circuit.
Yep.
Okay, how about the bottom for you?
Yeah, I think it just the power band just got moved to the top rather than like the mid. I think.
Okay.
The Pro Circuit, in my opinion, has more of a mid-range power.
Okay.
And then that one is like moved to the top, to where like I was bogging in corners. I was gear too high.
Okay. Did you notice that in the mid range too? Like how did it feel?
Yeah, I mean.
Does it feel softer in the mid?
Yeah, I feel like I should have downshifted in a second, and where I could have been in third on the other pipe.
Okay. Are you ready to try the stock pipe out and see how it does?
Yeah, I bet it's going to match the Pro Circuit.
Probably close to it. Well, let's see. All right, I appreciate it, Dustin. Okay, I got the stock pipe back in my 2018. Let's go out and test this out. stock pipe. I mean, really, what can you say? It's a good pipe. Really, it is. There's no complaints about the stock pipe. I mean, I would say the standout part about the stock pipe is there's nothing you can fault it for. It doesn't have extremely strong top. It doesn't have extremely strong bottom or mid. It's just good everywhere, and it really is, and it's good and clean and crisp. Haven't tried the stock pipe on this bike in a long time, and I'm actually kind of impressed. It's just a well-rounded pipe. It sounds good right off the very bottom, and it revs out pretty decent. It's got pretty decent mid. There's no holes in the power anywhere. That was one of my complaints about the Scalvini pipe, was it seems a little hollow in the middle for me. Like if you fall off the top and get into the middle, you gotta kind of snag the clutch and get it back up to the top. That's where you want to be. This one you don't have to. If it falls in the middle, it just pulls itself right back up. Now, obviously, as you saw, Dustin had a different thoughts on the Scalvini, but that's how that goes. Plus, they're different bikes, you know, they're a little different heads, stuff like that, and that's just kind of how it goes. And different riders have different perceptions, but this is mine. And the fitment, you can't beat the fitment of the stock pipe. It just fits perfectly. Now he's gonna bolt the stock pipe, Dustin, on his bike, and let's see what he thinks about that. All right, Dustin just tried out the OEM pipe. What'd you think about it?
To be honest, exactly the same as the Pro Circuit. I can't feel a difference.
Okay, oh, I guess that's a good thing. So even sounds the same?
I had earplugs in, so
that's true.
Probably, yeah, I would say it sounds the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a good thing or a bad thing that it's like the Pro Circuit?
It's a good thing.
Good thing. Okay. So the OEM pipe is a good pipe.
Yeah, it's well-rounded. It feels like it does everything good.
Awesome. Look at the difference in the stingers. That's a stock pipe. Starts right here.
This is
oh, that's a Pro Circuit.
Yep.
Starts right here, ends right here. Look at this one. I mean, it's like
you should compare it to the stock. Stock's
3 or 4
probably
inches.
the same as this.
Yeah, 3 or 4 inches shorter. I think on camera. Which pipe do you think's lighter? The Pro Circuit's a little bit lighter than the Scalvini. Okay. And for the bonus, got an FMF pipe. My friend Alex just showed up, and I just yanked it off his bike. Yeah, it's missing the tag right here. It says FMF, but otherwise it's in good shape. No major dents or dings or anything like that. So, yeah, we're only going to test it out on my 18 here because Dustin's already kind of worn out, but that's good. He's been riding really fast and kind of wore himself out. But let me go ahead and gear up. Let's go test this FMF out and see how it compares against these 3 pipes. I'm curious. I haven't tried one of these out yet. Well, holy cow, that's actually a thrusty pipe. Maybe doesn't rev quite as freely, I would say, as the Scalvini or the Pro Circuit. Probably about the same top end revs as the stock pipe, which is acceptable, but it's thrusty, way down low and all the way through the mid, all the way to the top. It almost feels like it just has more torque and just a good like whoop. I kind of like it, but since I like it, Dustin has now agreed to try it out on his bike. So let's see what he thinks about it. I'm gonna take it off this bike, put it on his, and let's see what he thinks. Give a shout out to Alex for lending the FMF pipe for us to test out today.
Anytime.
Appreciate it, man.
Out here having fun.
Yeah. All right, got the FMF pipe bolted on Dustin's bike. He's gonna go take it out for a spin.
feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I can tell a huge difference between the Pro Circuit, the stock, and that one now.
Okay, so it's right up in there in the mix with the Pro Circuit and stock now. So far your favorite is that
Here, yeah.
Scalvini?
But I think if we were had traction, I wouldn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. Did you notice a little more thrust in this one in the mid-range, or you couldn't really tell?
It's hard to tell. I'm always wide open. There's really nowhere where I'm like half throttle.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you are riding good. I give you credit, man.
Oh, that's the sand. You got no traction.
You're hauling. I appreciate it, man. One thing I do like about the Pro Circuit and the FMF is they fit very tight up in here without touching anything either. But they, you know, unlike the Scalvini pipe where it's kind of bulged out right here, the FMF and the Pro Circuit both fit pretty tight. And the stock's not bad either. The stock is pretty snug up in there. Maybe not as much as the Pro Circuit or the FMF, but it's up there pretty good. As far as weight, we don't have a scale out here today, but just by grabbing them by hand, I'm going to say the Pro Circuit is the lightest with FMF right behind it. The Scalvini is, or however you pronounce that pipe. I'm sure there'll be someone in there to correct me, and please do. That one's probably the third heaviest, and then the heaviest being stock, but they're all pretty close though. But the stock is definitely the heaviest, and the Pro Circuit's definitely the lightest and the thinnest. Probably the easiest to ding too, but it's a good pipe. If you didn't notice, we didn't really spend any time jetting them in. These bikes are jetted in very good and clean with the pipes that we currently run, which are the Pro Circuits. But I can tell you the stock pipe and the Pro Circuit on my bike, they both prefer the same jetting. FMF feels pretty much spot on. The only bike I would say would probably need to be jetting would be the Scalvini. That's the only one that I would think would probably need a little bit richer on the air screw and maybe a little bit richer on the main, but not much, just a little bit, if that. But we weren't going to waste time jetting them. We just wanted to pop them on and see how they perform on bikes that were pretty much dialed in. And on these two-strokes, I prefer to run the shorty silencers. There's a reason why. If you go back to like 2003, 4, maybe even 5, and you look at the pros, you'll notice they always had a shorty silencer on their bike. Now, you'll hear people say a longer silencer is for better top end and a shorter silencer is for better bottom end, and people will tune like that. But once you start modifying the bike, especially the head, mainly the head, once you start getting that head right where it really starts making some good power, you kind of got to chuck the longer silencers, mainly because the longer silencer with a well-tuned head is going to require higher octane and richer jetting and higher octane to keep the pinging under control. I had a bike years ago where I went real crazy with the head to 30,000 squish and a pretty decent compression ratio. I actually got my hands on the same specs that they used on Ricky Carmichael's RM250 in 2005, and I put together a YZ250 with that same specs. You got to remember, they both have the same bore and stroke. They even share the same piston, pretty much. So I popped them specs on, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get rid of the pinging. I had 100% 110 race feel in it, and I even tried jetting it rich, and it would still ping and detonate. And so what I did is I pulled off the long silencer that I had on it and put a shorty silencer on. After doing a ton of research, mainly in the go-karting world, I found out that in the go-karting world that they pretty much know that once you get that motor running really good, you got to shorten up the silencer. So I went and put a shorty, Pro Circuit shorty on it, and wouldn't you know it, pinging went completely away, and that bike ran great. So ever since then, I only run shorty silencers on my bike, and now I understand why the pros back in the day, when everyone was racing two-strokes, always ran a shorty silencer, no matter if they're outdoors or indoors, and that's why we run shorties. And back in the shop, it's been a long day, so I'm going to wash these bikes tomorrow. But I want to say thanks to Miguel, this man right here. He couldn't be here today during the review. I was hoping he could be, but he was out doing an archery competition. He's the one that actually literally gave me this pipe to test out. And so I really appreciate it, man. This is the nicest guy you'll meet right here. But I'll tell you what, don't mess with him. You see that? You see that in his hands? Yeah. Also, thanks Dustin for coming out and using your bike as well to help me review all these pipes, especially since I wasn't able to ride very good because of my hand. I appreciate you coming out and helping me with this. And also Alex for lending the FMF pipe for us to test out as well. So now I'm in the shop. Before I close this video, let me give you a quick recap of what I think. Now that I had a long drive home, got to think about it a little bit, about how each pipe felt. And this is how I rank them. The stock pipe, it's not going to make quite as much power as all three of the other pipes, but it's pretty close. And there's no holes. The power is good from the very, very, very bottom to the very top. There's no holes in the power. It just runs good. It's a good pipe. If you got that pipe, you want to stick with it, there's nothing wrong with that. Scalvini here, for me, it created really good bottom end and really good top end, but somewhere in the middle, if you fell off that top end, you'd have to snag the clutch to get it back up into the top end, where the stock pipe, the Pro Circuit, and the FMF would just pull itself right back up into the top end, no problem. This one would kind of hang there a little bit in that deep soil that we were in today. So somehow, some way, they were able to tune a bike that had really good bottom and really good top, but I guess the trade-off was somewhere in the middle. Good pipe though. I don't like how it sticks out the side so far right here, but otherwise, and I don't like the fitment issues, but otherwise, it's a powerful pipe. The FMF pipe, which I don't have here right now to show you because Alex had to take that back home with him, but it kind of mimics the stock pipe in all ways. It's like the same power band, it's just beefed up. And this is a thrusty pipe, and that's what the FMF is. It's a very thrusty pipe for me. You never really have to go for the clutch very much. You just twist the throttle, and it goes. It revs out just like the stock pipe does. It has good bottom end just like the stock pipe does, and there's no real holes in the power. My only complaint about the pipe, if I had one, and I really don't have one, is it doesn't quite have that top end rev that I'm looking for, much like the stock pipe doesn't, but it's really good. It's thrusty. It's basically just a beefed up version of the stock pipe. And then my favorite is still the Pro Circuit. The Pro Circuit, the trade-offs with the Pro Circuit is it doesn't have quite as much sub bottom end. You're not going to notice that on the track. You never get the RPMs down that low. You might notice it if you're a woods rider, FTR, GNCC, hare scramble, that kind of stuff. The sub bottom is a little bit softer, and I think they had to trade that off for the top end that it has. It does have a very free feeling top end to me. It may not be quite as powerful as the Scalvini up top, but it's pretty dang close, and it's clean and crisp all the way through the RPM range with no real holes. Once you get off that sub bottom, it's clean running and it's crisp running, and there's just no holes in the power. It's a good pipe. I still like that one the best myself. Of course, the fitment's good, but I will warn you, this is probably the dingiest pipe of them all. It's easy to get little dings in it and even tweak it or bend it. That's just, Pro Circuits are very lightweight, and that's part of the performance, because these pipes have to resonate, reflect. I explained this in some of my other videos. They have to reflect sound waves in here to make the power they make. That's how they do their job. And in order for them to do that, they have to be very tingy. That's one of the reasons why if you put a pipe guard on your pipe, or if you paint your pipe, you can notice, especially if you have another pipe just like it, to compare it back and forth, the power will kind of dip down a little bit. Or if they get a lot of carbon built up inside them, that also dampens the harmonics of the bike, the resonance. That's the word I'm looking for, the resonance of the pipe. So part of having a good performing pipe is also having very thin metal so that it actually resonates more. It's more tingy. And I think that's what Pro Circuit was going for on this pipe. And it's also one of the reasons why back in 2003, 4, 5, or any of them years, every time you seen a pro bike on the track, it was always a bare finish pipe. It wasn't a chrome plated or painted. It was bare finish, because again, a bare finish pipe is going to resonate better and make better power. Not by much, very minute amount, but it's there. But I think that's all I got for you guys. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Enjoy the credits coming up, and I'll catch you next time. See ya. Interesting enough, first time the pipe's been blued, I definitely gave it the beams out there. Look, blue right there too. So I definitely gave it some heat.